Another musician amidst the drug use, Jennifer Hudson walks her way to fame, and Alec Baldwin's stalker finally might stop stalking him. Find out about this and more on your #1 show for your entertainment news. #that. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another week of #that. I'm Gio Mio, and alongside me are my panelists Danielle, Jon, and Liv. Another anchorman is ascending to the Mount Rushmore of reporters, and he's telling you to stay classy, America. An exhibit for Anchorman opened up last Thursday at the Washington Museum in honor of the 2004 classic Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. The exhibit opened up a little over a month before its highly anticipated sequel, which will be released on Christmas Day. The exhibit will be available to see until August 31st next year. Some of the props included at the exhibit are the suits worn by Burgundy and his Channel 4 evening news team, and a recreation of the studio and Burgundy's famous jazz flute. How excited are you guys for the Anchorman sequel?
I'm pumped. I'm really excited.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And I want to go to that museum. I think it looks awesome.
It does. The museum is a staple of Washington, D.C., much more so than the monument. Yeah. And quite frankly, I believe that Ron Burgundy himself is more of a staple than the President of the United States.
Could be.
I like the fact that it's called a museum.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
Now, regarding the movie, though, what worries me is that you see a movie that has this cult following like Anchorman does. And unfortunately, when you get those types of movies, the expectations become higher.
That's true.
And
I agree
I'm
with
worried that they're going to try to do too much of the same. And if you've seen the trailer, it is almost the same exact movie.
Yeah.
That worries me.
It could be a letdown. I definitely think that people's expectations are incredibly high, so I totally agree with you.
I think I can see it as either a really successful movie or it's going to be
It's going to be
flop.
successful no matter what. I mean, it's going to kill in the box office.
Well, I mean, like expectations-wise.
Look, I'm a big Rotten Tomatoes guy, okay? And
I agree.
if it is above 60% on the tomato meter,
It's good.
I'm happy.
It's good. Yes.
And sometimes
agree.
people let the tomato meter dictate what they see, and this will not be one of those films for me.
Definitely not.
I agree.
According to Lady Gaga, drugs help her write music. In an interview with radio station Z100, the art pop musician admitted that since her hip injury on her Born This Way tour, she was smoking 15 to 20 marijuana cigarettes daily. The addiction is only getting worse. Gaga claims her celebrity status is the reasoning behind it. The singer also added how she was using drugs to write music for a decade and is currently trying to get out of her habit. Do you guys think Gaga can finally break her addiction?
I hope so.
I hope so.
But a lot of musicians and celebrities use drugs all the time. So honestly, I think it's a waste of time to be talking about Lady Gaga using drugs, because every single day it's like, oh, this person's using drugs. Justin Bieber using weed on his plane. Like, it happens to these people all the time. So I just feel like for us to worry about it, I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Well, once upon a time, rock and roll was popular in America, and almost every single rock and roll star out there lived a life of booze and drugs. And Gio, you know yourself, I mean, music has always been, if you will, tainted with this, but I think a lot of times it influences the music that they produce.
Absolutely.
Look at Zeppelin, look at the Beatles.
And even like Lil Wayne, just like rapping and everything like that. He can have marijuana on an album, and no one judges him for it. And then like, oh look, and then like one thing about Lady Gaga comes out. I just think it's a waste of time reporting about it.
I mean, I'd be careful if you say no one's judging him
no,
about
okay,
it.
There
you know
are a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
people don't like Lil Wayne for that.
That's true. That's true.
Neliana Ferraro asked students their reactions on some rumors spread around campus. Let's see what their responses were.
I'm Neliana Ferraro with this week's Believe That. Let's see what rumors Quinnipiac students believe this week.
Okay, what is your opinion on the CAF giving out free turkeys to students with meal plans of under $50?
It's a great idea. I think the meal plan of $1,200 is like not enough really, because especially for someone like me, an athlete, $1,200 definitely can't get you through a semester. So I'm definitely under $50. So free turkey sounds pretty good to me.
That's actually fantastic because I know a lot of people who like don't have anything on their meal plan at the moment. Like my friend had to put $300 on his Q Cash to pay for more meals, so that's really
It's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I didn't know about that either. I think that's really cool. That's sweet.
because Thanksgiving's about giving, so it's all good.
Well, what do you think about a Quinnipiac student being involved in steroids on the hockey team and getting kicked off because of it?
I think it's a little much to do steroids, but I think it's right that we kicked him off because steroids is a serious drug and he shouldn't be doing that, considering it's unfair.
Do you think it would be worth it if it's against the Yale team?
Absolutely.
Okay, so against steroids, but if it's against Yale, it's good.
Anything to beat Yale, which isn't that hard.
I mean, it makes sense. He shouldn't be using steroids, so I think that's the appropriate action.
Do you think steroids is okay if it's to beat Yale?
Not really. No. No.
Okay.
No.
I think that that's like kind of fair, I guess, only because I don't really like think that like that's kind of like an advantage against other players. So players that don't use them like have a less advantage, I guess, at winning. I don't know.
I think he deserves to be suspended. I mean, it's illegal to use steroids without a prescription, so it's a good thing they suspended.
And do you think it would matter if the game was against Yale?
No.
Looks like we got them again. Back to you guys.
Coming up after the break, you might not see a 50 Shades of Grey movie for quite some time, and Jennifer Hudson has her own star. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Oh my God, I can't get into Toads. I can get the same sandwich at 7-Eleven $5 cheaper. These are some of the QU problems I hear all around campus, but let's see what our panelists dug up this week.
The York Hill shuttle sign is putting up Band-Aids as tape. #QU problems. Those shuttle drivers, huh?
I think I actually saw that happen a few days ago.
Did you? I really didn't see it. I just heard about it.
It made no sense whatsoever, but...
I get a little nervous every time I step on a shuttle here.
Did you know that actually last...
Well, you drive here, don't you?
I do, but the other day as I was preparing to meet with some of my fantastic Q30 shows here and the fantastic members, I decided to take a shuttle down because I wasn't expecting to be down here very long, and that turned into 9 hours on main campus. So I did have to encounter the wrath of a shuttle driver who actually stopped the shuttle as his foot was on the gas pedal. So the shuttle kind of jumped forward.
Well then.
I could use a Band-Aid for that because I think that's something that I would need just when all's said and done. But let's get to another one. Let's talk about the super awkward moment your professor opens their web browser and SparkNotes pops up. #QU problems. I've never had this happen to me, but I can imagine this can't go over too well.
That's never happened to me either.
The same. I would not relate to that at all.
Never seen
I mean,
that.
do people still use SparkNotes? I thought SparkNotes was one of those things in like 6th grade where you
thought it
bought
was high
the book and you're
school.
like,
Maybe think like English 101 and English 102. They're still using it for
Those
their
stories aren't
books.
that long though. Like it's so
No.
easy to just
Right.
flip
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
read it. I mean, you might as well.
They're pretty quick.
That's true.
I agree. A 3-hour power outage at 1 a.m. and a 1 a.m. fire alarm. Not really sure what the next big event will be, but I'm not looking forward to it. #QU problems. The fire alarm has gone off, I think 3 times in my building, and every time I'm never there.
well,
So I always get out of it.
You, my freshman friend, do not live on York Hill, where this is something that happens regularly.
Yeah.
What do they say again? And they're very calm about it too.
They're very calm. They're
just
also
like,
very
get
loud.
Out. And then just everyone, yeah, that's true. But it's like, cause it's funny, because all like juniors live in Crescent or Westview, so it's all connected to one. So it's just like we're all. So imagine all the juniors just walking out of the building. Like, are you kidding me?
Everybody's always napping in their rooms.
There's that calm voice.
It's very serene.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, but you know what they say: serenity now, insanity later, and that's what happened.
It's unfortunate. From being an American Idol contestant to the Walk of Fame, Jennifer Hudson received a 2,512 star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame last Wednesday. She rose to fame in 2004, finishing 7th place on American Idol. Since her appearance on the show, some awards Hudson's received include a Grammy for her self-titled album in 2009 and an Oscar-winning performance in the 2006 movie Dreamgirls. How happy are you guys for Jennifer Hudson?
So happy. She deserves this so much too. And what I think is so cool about it is that you always see a lot of American Idol later, like past, like not really like go anywhere, and she's been the one to really have a lot of success for not being the #1 winner or even the #2 winner. What was she?
She's seven.
You know? So.
And I was actually talking about this with someone. We were watching the Country Music Awards, and Carrie Underwood was there. And I said, who's the most successful person to come out of American Idol? And I mean, you can obviously argue Carrie Underwood for music. You could argue Kelly Clarkson. But I think multi-dimensionally, it has to be Jennifer Hudson. I mean, you never see someone go from singer to actor and have that success. I mean, Paris Hilton tried to dip her feet into both, and
we
wasn't too successful.
And I remember Jennifer Hudson always got really bad reviews sometimes from the judges, and she's an amazing singer, but she didn't always pick the best song, and now look at where she is.
What we're forgetting about too, also visually, she went through the weight transformation. She linked
that,
on with a few sponsors, so I mean, she's raking it in. Good for her.
And also how she was able to deal with all her personal problems and come back stronger.
The murder, right?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
remarkable.
Kudos to her for being able to pull that off.
Definitely.
It looks like one of the most anticipated movies for next year will be delayed. The Guardian is reporting that 50 Shades of Grey is pushing back their movie release from August of 2014 to Valentine's Day 2015. This decision was made by Universal Studios after Sons of Anarchy actor Charlie Hunnam dropped out of the main role as billionaire Christian Grey. Jamie Dornan was named as Hunnam's replacement. Do you guys think this movie will meet its expectations come release?
I think maybe not, because when the books came out and everybody was reading it, it was so popular. But by the time the movie comes out next year, I mean, the phase is kind of over at this point.
Yeah, like, just like if you think, like, take like a previous example, like The Hunger Games, when like the movie was coming out, like the books were still like huge and everything like that too, so everyone like kind of wanted to read it and they were rushing for it, and you don't hear a lot of talk about it either.
So here's the thing, I don't read steamy sex novels, believe it or not. I think that's something that could surprise a lot of people, but I don't. And I mean, the mothers do, the grandmothers even do. This movie is going to be along the same lines as Twilight in terms of its appeal.
Yeah,
Tons of people will go and see it, and like most of the Twilight films, it will probably tank in the box office. Well, it won't tank in the box office, but tank in appeal. And that's my full expectation for it, if you want to be quite frank here.
When we return, Taylor Swift performed at the Victoria's Secret show, and one of the models did not like it. Plus, Alec Baldwin is a stalker. But before we go to break, here's Jon Alba with this week's Instagram of the Week.
This week's Instagram of the Week is brought to you by the Bobcat Shop. The Bobcat Shop is your source for custom printing and embroidery for your team, organization, or group. The Bobcat Shop is located at 1010 Sherman Avenue, just 2.5 miles from the Mount Carmel campus. This week's Instagram is by @PartyForOne. He posted a beautiful picture of the CAS walkway with the sun. If only the weather could always be that nice. Be sure to follow us at #ThatQU on Instagram and Twitter for a chance to be featured on our show.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I guess you can say that the person in our next topic is fearless. Taylor Swift took over the Victoria's Secret fashion show last Thursday, making 2 appearances on the catwalk, including a cameo with punk band Fall Out Boy. On her second time around, T. Swift donned a miniskirt and sang one of her most popular hits, I Knew You Were Trouble. However, one model knew Swift was trouble when she walked in. Jessica Hart said in an interview that she, quote, didn't fit in, unquote. What did you guys think of her performance?
Loved it.
Well, I know you did, but go into detail.
Well, I love Taylor Swift. I just think, I don't know, she looks so beautiful and she's tall just like the models, so I completely disagree with Jessica Hart. I think she fits in perfectly. I love Taylor Swift. Go her.
Would you say that Taylor Swift's a model?
I don't think she's a model.
So then she doesn't fit in.
No, but she's tall like a model and she's pretty too.
Snap.
And she's so inspirational. She gets you through your dark days, so I love her.
I mean, you know, I can say that I'm a general manager. That doesn't mean I belong at the Emmys, you know.
You could go to the Emmys if you wanted.
I could go
Anything
if I
you set
wanted
your
to, but it
mind
doesn't
to.
mean I belong.
I think she belongs. I love her.
She's very talented. I don't think there's any doubt
I
in that.
think that she's talented, and I think that she has a decent voice, but I just don't like her. I can't. It gets me like.
What don't you like about Taylor Swift?
I just think like a lot of her songs are very, like have like a lot of
Needy?
Yeah, needy. It's like she writes about like I Knew You Were Trouble about, you know, her ex-boyfriend, but then and then everyone is like, oh, you know, she's so cute,
Right.
like, you know, but then Miley Cyrus is gonna get married to
no, they broke
up. No, but I meant like
Yeah.
before that, like,
But
and then everyone's like, oh, like Miley.
I just can't fathom how someone actually went through all this, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's stalker is being sentenced to 7 months in prison for stalking and harassment. The stalker, who is also an actress, Genevieve Saberin, thinks that the jail sentence will help her career. A friend of hers says she might not even survive jail, and that 7 months will be an eternity to her. But where was the 30 Rock star when his stalker was being sentenced? Talking to back to reporters, of course. Baldwin was with his wife and daughter Carmen at his East 10th Street building, telling photographers taking pictures of him and his family to, quote, get the F away from my car, unquote. Do you think this sentence was unfair?
Well, if anyone has followed Alec Baldwin, they know that this is not unlike him to do. In regards to the sentencing, I mean, that's the judicial process. If you'd like to talk to the judge about that, you can. But I think that it's very fair in regards to stalking. I think it's interesting. She thinks that's going to help her career out.
How would that help her career, going to jail? I don't understand what her thought
Oh,
process
it puts her name out there. That's what it is.
I
It puts her name
guess,
out
but
there.
it's jail.
It is
That's
jail.
not worth it. I don't think that's worth it for a career.
I agree with you on that. I think it's kind of weird to get famous by stalking people
I mean,
in
if
jail.
you look at how many people have done that, they've deliberately put themselves in situations, most of the time resulting in murder, which thankfully this was not the case here. But
even so, that gets you your 15 minutes of fame and then you're done. So I mean, why waste your time? Why stalk someone? That's just weird.
And that's all what it's about now. Is that 15
everybody
minutes of
wants fame.
Yep.
15 minutes of fame, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Another celebrity tries to enter the political world, and Tori Heckert has this week's This or That. Hashtag that will be back soon. But here's Jon Alba with our Tweet of the Week.
This week's Tweet of the Week is brought to you by the Bobcat Shop. The Bobcat Shop is located at 1010 Sherman Avenue and is your go-to for Quinnipiac apparel and accessories. This week's tweet is by Melina Andre. She said, I didn't take a picture sporting Quinnipiac alumni apparel. Therefore, Alumni Weekend did not happen. Be sure to follow us at #ThatQU on Instagram and Twitter for a chance to be featured on our show.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
Have a shower that only has cold water? Can't drive 40 in a 35-mile zone? Well, you came to the right segment. Let's hear this week's first world problems.
I need more icing for my toaster strudel. Hashtag first world problems.
That's absolutely correct.
That's a real
What is
problem.
a toaster strudel without the icing on it?
Very
And you know, they
true.
gave you the the little packages, because the thing is, this was the 90s when these things came out, and they're about the size of your palm. And in the 90s, they underestimated how much you could do, except for when you went to like fast food restaurants. They're like, let's supersize this. But with toaster strudel, they're like, nope, we're going to give you something the size of the actual, the toaster strudel man, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Because there was always
Pillsbury
competitions
Doughboy.
between the Pop-Tart and the toaster strudel. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, like which one do you like more? Because with the toaster strudel, you can actually
But on
put
the
your own icing
commercial,
on it.
it shows and it's like perfectly squiggled.
Oh, right.
But when I
It's a
use
commercial
toaster
list.
strudel, I know that. But when I use toaster strudel, I try to spread the icing out over the whole thing because it needs to be even.
Covers more mass. The volume is
Exactly. You have to
accounted
spread it
for.
out.
I'm absolutely with you. Let's move on. I broke a chip in the dip, isn't that the worst? So I sent in a recon chip to save it, and that one broke too. Hashtag first world problems, and thankfully Tostitos created the scoops.
Scoops?
Yeah.
I
Now the scoops
love
are
those.
fantastic.
Those are great.
But if
They're
you're using
great.
like the cheese, the nacho cheese, that the durability of that is much stronger. The tension is created, and thus the scoop could break as well.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I love the analysis of the chips.
It's important.
It is.
Think about the Super Bowl. There's so much money to be made on nachos, on chips, Tostitos. Tostitos has its own bowl game named after it, Gio. Therefore, the chips are important.
I didn't say they weren't important. I'm just saying I love the analysis of how you have to dip the chip in the most perfect fashion to get as much as possible without breaking any chips.
Yeah. All right, well, next tweet. Being aware of glasses and having to put 3D glasses over them. Hashtag first world problems. Being aware of glasses, I know the struggle.
I don't get the
That
appeal
does.
of 3D, though. I thought 3D was dying.
They're trying to
They're
bring it
trying.
back
Well, yeah, but
by
I
making-
thought they were like.
Wasn't 4D the new thing?
Well, I don't feel like feeling my television shows, but like, I don't understand. They're so overpriced, and it actually kind of gives you a headache when you watch
Oh,
them.
it really
does.
does.
I always want to squint my eyes. I'm always like,
Well, sometimes it's blurry too. I get confused, and like you'll take the 3D glasses off to see and be like, "Am I watching
yeah.
this correctly?"
I do it a lot. Like I pick like my 3D glasses up
Yeah,
just to like
then-
see what I'm doing. And like I know I have to keep them on. 'Cause
Yeah.
then otherwise.
It's not really
If
necessary.
I'm watching a football game, I don't want Tom Brady to be throwing a ball at me and having the ball come up. That's just me.
Fear the beards, people. They're running for Congress. Well, not exactly. Duck Dynasty cast member Willie Robertson stars in the new political ad for his quote-unquote good buddy Vince McAllister, who is a part of Louisiana's 5th District special election. The Robertsons family are residents of the 5th District and appeared at multiple campaign stops for McAllister. McAllister is competing for Republican Ronnie Alexander's seat, who resigned this summer. Do you guys think using a reality show character is going to help his campaign?
In Louisiana,
Are you
absolutely.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got to spend some time in Louisiana, and I can totally vouch for this, that is a brilliant
Oh, yeah, you
marketing
did.
campaign. Brilliant, in fact, especially with those beards. They are impressive.
Gotta love the beards.
You know I appreciate a good beard. You better believe that this is a good one.
Tori Heckert asked some students pretty would you rathers. Let's see what she asked them.
Thanks, guys. On this week's segment of This or That, we ran around asking random QU students what they would rather do, and this is what we found. Would you rather dress as a pilgrim for the entire month of November or eat Thanksgiving dinner every day for a year?
Oh, probably dressed as a pilgrim.
Why?
I mean, I think I'd get sick of food, like the Thanksgiving food after a year, so.
I would definitely pick a pilgrim because if anyone's ever gotten their wisdom teeth out and had to eat the same thing for more than like a few days, I would rather tear my hair out. So, pilgrim for me.
Dress up as a pilgrim.
Why?
Because I hate Thanksgiving food.
I'm kind of gluttonous, so I kind of want to eat Thanksgiving every day of the year. That'd be cool.
Eat Thanksgiving every day for a year.
Why?
Food.
I think I might go with food. I might eat food.
Would you rather bark or meow for the rest of your life?
Meow, obviously. Who doesn't love cats?
Bark.
Why?
I'm a dog person.
I would bark.
Why?
Because then you could hear me and I don't know, maybe you'd bark with me.
I would definitely bark with you.
Bark.
Why?
I like dogs.
I want to bark. I want to be intimidating, so I'll bark.
Bark?
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I guess a dog's bark is better than a cat's meow. I don't know.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Tori. We'll be going to break. We'll be right back.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your number one choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
According to the Sports Business Journal, former NFL quarterback Tim Tebow signed with Creative Artists Agency to hope to start a new career for himself, a college football analyst. This would definitely be a change for the athlete, but he is already used to being part of the media. But now it would be his choice. Do you think it's a smart move for Tebow?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone remembers when Jesse Palmer was on The Bachelor. He was not a very good quarterback for the New York Giants, but he realized this, unlike Mr. Tebow, and ended up, in the end, becoming an analyst. And he was also pretty dreamy on television.
That's very true. He was dreamy.
It's true.
I mean, Tebow's the type of guy who, all in all, was one heck of a college athlete, but ended up turning into someone whose name was more significant than his actual playing abilities.
And always furthering his career. I mean, that's just good for him. So
Yeah, exactly.
I just think it's going to be interesting. Someone who didn't perform very well on the football field is going to end up breaking down football.
I mean, I could see Tebow being a really good analyst. He works hard. He was a great player, like you said, back in college. I think he knows the playbook, but the way he used to throw the football was always...
It was embarrassing.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe he'll have a better chance of talking about football rather than just throwing it.
That I agree. Yeah,
And plus, you know, he's a charismatic guy.
Yes, he is.
And he's dealt with all this media blitz pretty well, so kudos to him.
What's your worst Thanksgiving memory? Well, Elijah Westbrook got some pretty funny responses. Elijah?
Thanks, guys. Hello, and welcome to another segment of Question That. I'm Elijah Westbrook, and for this week's segment, it's a little different. We're going to switch it up a bit. This is the Thanksgiving edition of the Question That series. I went around campus and asked students what their most memorable experience was when it came to the Thanksgiving holiday. Let's take a look. What was the worst Thanksgiving meal you've ever had?
The worst Thanksgiving meal I've ever had was when I went to a Spanish restaurant for Thanksgiving.
You went out for Thanksgiving?
Yes, we went out for Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. And what was so bad about it?
Because we didn't have turkey.
She came over one year.
Really? What was so bad about that?
I'm just kidding. I really haven't had a bad Thanksgiving experience yet.
Yeah. Food-wise, nothing was bad?
Everything was
So that's
good.
always good. What about you?
Yeah, same. Thanksgiving's awesome.
Yeah. The turkey wasn't dry last year.
Yeah, my mom makes the best turkeys.
Yeah. How do you like your turkey? You like it, you know?
The one that, I like it good.
You like
I like it good.
I like it good too. What about you?
I don't like turkey.
You don't like turkey? What's like your meat supplement?
I don't have meat then that day.
My sister got sick everywhere before we left, so we had to stay home. And I was so excited to see my cousins and my friends, but I couldn't. So.
Did you guys end up cooking that night at least?
A little bit, not
bit?
too much though.
Oh,
yeah.
no, that's not good.
So it wasn't too good, but it was. Yeah, it wasn't one of the better ones.
What is the most memorable Thanksgiving that you've ever had, whether good or bad?
Probably on my birthday when my entire family got together.
Oh, your birthday's on Thanksgiving?
Every 7 years.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And do you help your family cook for Thanksgiving?
I try to. I try to help my mom.
Yeah. You like turkey?
Yeah.
White meat or dark meat?
White meat for sure.
Probably 2 Thanksgivings ago. I was home with my friends. We got a nice pickup football game together. And then back with the family. It was nice to have a nice home-cooked meal. And then
Did you help cook it all or no?
Yeah, I helped my dad with the stuffing, which
Oh,
is
nice.
And we watched the Pats play on TV, so that was nice too.
I can't cook. I can't cook to save my life.
Really?
Really.
All right, I gotta teach you. Come over to the Westbrooks and we'll show you how to throw down.
You cook, Elijah?
Of course I cook.
Okay.
I throw down when it comes to cooking. I put a little soul food into that.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
The worst Thanksgiving meal I ever had is one time I had to go to, I don't remember if it was like a Denny's or an IHOP. It was a breakfast joint, and they did a turkey spread, but it wasn't very good.
You went to Denny's and IHOP for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was actually, I was on a,
Like the apple pies burn, or there's like bad like family drama. It's
Really?
the only thing that's happened.
Have you ever cooked or like helped your family out for Thanksgiving?
No, not really. My family doesn't actually like cook for it. My mom takes 10 hours to cook a turkey, so it doesn't really happen at my house. We go to a family.
I hope it's good
friend.
turkey.
Well, the ones that we go to,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
my mom can't cook it, so I've never tried.
hockey trip, so we had to.
Okay.
So we had to eat out that night. It was no good.
Good.
No.
Nothing like a home cooked meal.
No, nothing like grandma's cooking.
Well, my favorite Thanksgiving meal is the mashed potatoes. Back to you guys.
And that will do it for this week. Before we sign off, I just want to give Danielle, Jon, and Liv a quick thank you for joining me this week. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at #ThatQU and tag us in your posts. I'm Gio Mio, and we will see you next week.